Hello, everyone. Welcome live to 3 Wide TV, tonight's broadcast of the 2021 Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series here from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. 250 miles, 100 laps around the famed World Center of Racing. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight is none other than Alex Brinson. And great to have you up here in the booth, Alex. And we got a long race here tonight, 100 laps, 250 miles, as the Majors Garage Pole Shootout is just wrapping up here.
Yeah, glad to be here. It should be a fun show. Hopefully these guys put on a great show like they did all last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just now jumping over into the race session as the Majors Garage Pole Shootout just wrapped up here just a couple of seconds ago. And of course, one thing about Daytona is it's wide open in qualifying, Alex. You go around this racetrack, you get wound up lap number 1, but lap number 2, you're right down there on the bottom side of the racetrack trying to minimize scrubbing off as much speed as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all about getting up through the gears and getting as much momentum coming to that line for the second lap and holding that wheel as steady as possible.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if we can jump down to tonight's starting lineup because Bronson Stafford did pick up that Majors Garage Pole Shootout. Congratulations for picking up the first pole award of the season in that number 61 machine. We'll see exactly when he gets out there onto the racetrack. But Mike Floppy Tellier in the number 97 machine will be starting alongside him, the driver coming out of Ontario. One of the few Canadian drivers coming south here to Daytona. As you see, Bronson Stafford just now getting out there onto the grid. On the row number 2 on the inside, Brian Branham in the number 74 with Kyle Ammon to his outside in the number 11 truck. You see that truck right there on your screen. Meanwhile, on the inside of row 3, that would be David Duke and the number 78 machine with Alonso Chocano in the number 25 to his outside. Cody Molno in the number 91, and Dylan Kritz in the number 5 on row number 4. And rounding out your top 10 here, Mitchell Goosens in the number 29, and Josh Sobel, who is typically here on Friday nights on 3 Wide TV in the National Sim Racing Association that we broadcast, but they have an off week, so he is out here tonight playing with the big boys around Daytona International Speedway there, Alex.
Well, yeah, for sure. And in 11th, we got Dave Fugel Jr. 12th, Jason Taylor, Dustin Webb, and Richard Chedester in row 7. Row 8, Eric Weiland and Cody Luke. Row 9, we got Chris Parkman and Cameron Cadwell. Brandon, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and Carl Felber. Row 11, we got Cody Bradley and Scott Roush. And rounding out the field is Jonathan Dellinger in 23rd spot.
Yeah, so just over 20 trucks out here tonight around Daytona International Speedway as they start to roll their way coming out onto the back stretch here for the first time here tonight. Going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, whenever we come to these super speedway races, we're usually talking about fixed setups here on 3Y TV, but here tonight, open setups. If you're new to the Galaxy Truck Series, that's right. One of the few series out there in iRacing still running open setups. And I got to say, that definitely brings an extra element to the table and what we're going to see on these trucks here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, it makes everyone have to put a lot of time in, a lot of practice, and become more dedicated. And I think that brings a lot better racing overall. It's not always easy, but these people put a lot of work in and usually put on a good show for it.
Absolutely, and of course that all starts with picking up that Majors Garage Pole Shootout award that we saw the number 61 machine of Bronson Stafford pick up just a little bit ago. As we'll see, the iRacing pace truck here more than likely head down pit road. Its lights are still flashing, so we'll see whether or not we do get an extra lap, and indeed we will just before these trucks all get wound up to speed here tonight. But we're going to be seeing 180 mile an hour race trucks flashing their way around this 2.5 mile racetrack, and that's something I always love to see. The second time I've been at Daytona International Speedway this week here on 3Y TV, we have had 2 stellar races, a combined margin of victory over the last 2 nights here on the channel, 15 one-thousandths of a second, and I'm expecting to see another stellar show here tonight. Pace truck lights have turned off, so we're going to turn them loose in one lap from now, Alex. Any favorites here tonight at Daytona?
Well, you always got to go with Alonso Chicano. He's been tearing it up here last year. Usually always up front, and then you got to look at Cam as well. But I'd have to pick that 25 truck too.
Yeah, that is for sure definitely going to be a lot of people in this field to keep an eye on. Your pick, the number 25 machine, looks like he will be starting, decently far back there, and there's going to be a couple of other drivers that we're going to keep an eye on. I know Cam Caldwell, he's one of those drivers I always keep an eye on. Also keep an eye on him in the Total Nonstop Racing League that we broadcast here on the channel on Monday nights. So some familiar faces in the field here tonight. We got some people in the chat here tonight, and folks, thanks for sticking with us as we had some technical gremlins right there at the start of the show. But so far, those things have seemed to fix themselves by turning things off and on again, as you often do. But let's turn the season off and on again, because the 2021 Galaxy Truck Series, brought to you by In the Pits News, is going green for the first time this season, and the number 61 of Bronson Stafford going to get us to the green flag there. Alex?
Yeah, just gotta look at those 3 trucks in the top lane there. They're all Radius trucks, all teammates. They're gonna probably work together here and get in line and go to the front.
Yeah, and up at the front of the field, we got that 61 and 97 side-by-side coming out of turn number 2 for the first time here tonight. And look at that, 2x2 for about the first 10 trucks or so. And that's what you absolutely love to see here, Alex, on these super speedways, is good, hard, tight racing, especially up at the front of the field, as the 97 and 61, right where they started, side-by-side, coming out of turn number 4 to try and lead lap number 1.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting here to see how this top line works as we see the 97 truck leading the first lap of the season here. Usually the upper lane carries momentum, especially if they get enough trucks up there. It'll be interesting to see here.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we have seen here on the channel the past couple of nights on super speedways is the fact that when you run that outside line, you usually don't get the same accordion effect that you get down there on the inside when you see a couple of the cars on the inside groove. As, oh man, I think that might have been the number, who was that? Was that the number 74? It was, Brian Branham in that car. Might have got a little bit wiggly down there on the backstretch, but that inside groove, because it's a little bit tighter radius, you scrub off a little bit more speed down there, so you have a tendency to sometimes get a little bit of an accordion effect in the middle of the corners where that inside line kind of ebbs and flows. Meanwhile, the outside line can usually get all together and keep their foot in it, but at least for right now, that outside line dropped back a little bit because that allowed the number 74 of Branham to jump up there to the high side in front of the 97 of Tellier, but the inside line still holding strong here.
Yeah, it's got all the momentum right now. They're all trying to behave, doing a great job. But yeah, that 61 truck was strong early on.
Yeah, and with the open setups that these drivers have here tonight, we're definitely going to see some into play. Some drivers will just have that much better of a setup. Oh, contact! And then that's the number 9 machine, I think, going around. Was that the number 9? No, that was not the number 9. But this is going to bring out, is it going to bring out the first caution? It was the number 91, excuse me. We stay green flag here at Daytona. Let's see if we can go back and get a replay of this one. Definitely really early to have the contact that we just saw. Yeah, now the caution comes out. So this is the number 91 of Cody Molno, and gets into it with Branham. And then look at that, Mike Tellier, Josh Sobel, and the number 30 machine going around through the grass, and a whole bunch of trucks, scattering around. There's Joshua Sobel in the Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra going around, but the caution flag out for the first time this season.
Yeah, really tough break for a lot of these trucks. They weren't looking forward to this. We're hoping to kind of just get through the first 20 laps here, but tough break.
Yeah, and there was that contact up front. There you see Mike Tellier getting into it, and really good job by a good portion of the field to minimize the contact. As you see Molno back there trying to slice his way back up through after that contact. But it could have been a heck of a lot worse there, Alex. Good job by a lot of the field to get away with minimal damage, considering we had trucks completely sideways out there on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We do have Rich Sobel in the chat asking, what's the number 3 there for Sobel on the leaderboard? And Rich will answer your question. That's because there are 3 accounts under Josh Sobel's name, and this is account number 3. And so Josh Sobel, the first account, doesn't have any number. The second one has a 2 appended to the last name, and the third account obviously has a 3 appended to the name right there. So what leagues often do, and why you probably don't see it in the other leagues that Josh runs here on 3Wide TV, is that the league can actually edit the driver names. And so probably Josh has had his name edited in the other leagues that he runs here on the channel. So it doesn't show that 3, but here tonight, kind of a late entry into the Galaxy Truck Series in the Pits News Series, and we'll see whether or not he gets to run any other races, as we have a whole bunch of trucks on pit road. Bit surprised by maybe some of the cars that did come down pit road, but your race leader Bronson Stafford elected to stay out because we're only about 14 laps away or so, Alex, from the first stage break of the night. Tell the fans about that.
Yeah, we run just like NASCAR truck rules. We do stages. Stage points are awarded after each stage. So we have stages at the end of completion of lap 20 and 40. And I think with these pit stops here, I think everyone feels like they can make it to lap 40, so they won't have to come in during this first stage.
Yeah, we were actually kind of talking prior to the race about what the pit window we expect to be. And we expect to see a pit window of about 35 to 40 laps, somewhere in that window, maybe get to 37 laps. So this, like you said, gets the drivers into that window now where they can go 35 laps from here to make it to lap number 40, where we'll have our second stage caution flag of the night. And hopefully we'll just have these stage cautions for the remainder of the race, with a couple of the trucks here pretty badly damaged. There's Mike Tellier on pit road. He had a long stop. Brian Branham right behind him. There you see, I think that was Cam Caldwell working his way off pit road. It was. You see the weather conditions down there. You did see the weather conditions at the bottom hand corner of the screen, just to tell you it was 82 degrees track temperature. Cody Molno working his way now back out onto the racetrack, but we still have that's Dylan Kritz right there in the number 5 Toyota. He sat in his pit box, as has the number 16 right there of Corey Bradley. You and I know, Alex, we've been out there on the racetrack many times ourselves. If you get damage at this point at Daytona, you are in for a long night.
Yeah, for sure. It's not fun to get damage in the first half of a race, especially at Daytona. You're just kind of stuck trying to hold on to the draft and just get as many points as you can. It's never a good thing. I've also seen from some of the guys here that 35 laps in these trucks tonight are about max, so they're right on that edge of making it to lap 40. But I think most of them think they're going to make it.
Yeah, I think they will make it, especially with the fact that we have this extra caution lap, but the pace truck lights are off. And if you're wondering how many cars stayed out under this caution flag, only 7 trucks stayed out, Alex. So that is an interesting little split in strategy here as the field works their way coming out at turn number 2 to try and catch up to the back of the field. You see Mike Tellier down there in the number 97. You can't miss him in that gray and bright green machine. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly how the split strategy works out when we do go back to green and with the stage cautions upcoming. But I'll tell you what, great to be here on 3Wide TV on Friday night. We are usually here on Friday night on the channel, but unfortunately, the main broadcaster of the Galaxy Truck Series, well, they couldn't make it here tonight in the Pits News Daytona 250, but they came to us. We said, hey, hopefully we can do your broadcast. and it all worked out. We're here on 3Y TV broadcasting their first race of the season. A clean slate for 2021 for all of these drivers. And now, going to be 93 laps away from the first checkered flag of the season. Green flag drops again. And it is the 61 machine of Stafford who has led all but one lap. That lap being the very first one here tonight, which was led by Mike Floppy Tellier in the number 97. But he's up front once again, Alex.
Well, yeah, we got the outside line here trying to get a little formation going here. A lot of these guys are looking at, this where we 12 laps from the stage here. Most of these guys up front are going for the championship this year, so they're all after those first stage points of the year.
Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, you won every point you can get because the top 10 drivers at the end of the regular season will make their way into the playoffs, and then you whittle it down to the championship 4, and those 4 will go to try and pick up the 2021 In the Pits News Galaxy Truck Series. He's right on board here with David Duke. That's a lap around the Daytona International Speedway as he tries to push the number 25 of Alonso Chicano to the race lead around that high line, and possibly for the first time here tonight, well, maybe only the second time here tonight, we see someone able to get past the number 61 of Stafford, but Stafford comes roaring back there coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, Stafford's got one heck of a strong truck there in the first part, but we got the top 2 here of the 25 of Alonso trying to go for the lead here, going into 3 here.
That outside line looking a little bit better than it did one lap ago, but just like that, coming out of the corner again, the 61 of Stafford just gets his nose out ahead, but that outside line just formed up a little bit better than they have been. As you can see, the number 78 of Duke trying to push Chicano to the race lead. As of right now, they're side by side headed off into turn number 1. They just kind of yo-yo back and forth, Alex. I'm sure we're going to see that pretty much all night long here on the channel.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try it for the whole race here. And be interested to see if we get a few more trucks and maybe towards the end get someone trying to go 3 wide here.
And now you get to see what I like to call the super speedway snake of all the trucks working their way down the backstretch. Let's go on board with one of these drivers. In fact, let's see if we can go on board with the man in the number 78 machine as he tries to push the truck out front. And that gives you folks at home just a little bit of an indication on how difficult it is to see through the truck in front of you. So as the truck in front of you is, oh man, the 25 of Chicano, who actually was able to lead that last lap, he's going to jump down in front of that inside line and just leave David Duke up there on the high line to dry. But it is so difficult to see through these trucks, Alex, and that kind of leads to the cars kind of snaking their way down the backstretch. The car in front, it's really that car's job to hold a steady line, and the cars behind to line up behind them nose to tail. But you don't often see that, and you often get this kind of yo-yo seesaw of cars down the backstretch as they try and form up together.
Oh yeah, it's a really weird feeling pushing these trucks. When you're pushing someone, all you see is that back into the spoiler, and you're just hoping that you can hit that corner just right. And if you're off just a little bit, you stink and you get loose, and you're worried about hitting the cars up above. It's a lot harder than it looks.
That it is the number 25 machine of Chicano continuing to lead up at the front. The 61 of Stafford now slotting into second. The 29 machine, that's Mitchell Goosens in that truck. Oh man, you can see that snaking I was just talking about right there with that look. And I think that's the number 23 of Richard Chidester. There he is. Just jumped up to the high side and might have got a little bit close up in front of him with the number 82 of Dustin Webb, and I think that's the number 99 of Carl Felver, to his outside as they continue to jostle for position here. Now working lap number 13, just about 8 laps away now from the first stage break.
Yeah, we got the 78 truck here trying to work with it's the yellow truck there. I can't tell the number. They're trying to work there and get by Alonso here to take the lead.
Yeah, that being David Duke and the number 99 of Carl Felver in that yellow and white machine. Right on board here with Duke. Just seeing that clean air in front of him Alex. Not much more he can do. He's got his foot flat, I'm sure. Just hoping he can get that help from behind to push him up to the race lead to get by Chocano. But at least for right now, that inside line is strong once again here at Daytona. A beautiful, beautiful facility. If you've never been to Daytona International Speedway, what an unbelievable place. The World Center of Racing, 2.5 miles racetrack, and we get to do 100 laps of it here tonight under the lights as they work their way through turn number 1 and 2, working lap number 14.
It's such a beautiful track, especially under the lights. And that 78 truck there, he's loving his view. He's slowly getting to the lead here. There's nothing better than seeing nothing but cleaner out front. But once you experience it, that's all you want. Keep going to the front. You hate being behind the other trucks.
Yeah, let's highlight a couple of the drivers involved in that last accident. Brian Branham in the number 74 machine. On the left-hand side of your screen, you will see that he's being scored 8 laps down. He's not on the racetrack right now. Same thing with Corey Bradley, the 74 and the 16. Both of those trucks appear to be in the garage. So we'll see whether or not we can get them back out here tonight, but at least right now it is not looking all too good for the 74 and the 16. Mike Floppy Tellier in the number 97, where is he? There he is, running with a couple of trucks, the 22 and the number 1. That is the one of Chris Parkman and the 22 of Dave Fuge Jr. That 97, the only truck 1 lap down, so presumably he will be getting the lucky dog here in just a little bit as these laps click off and we get ever so much closer to the first stage break here tonight. And what about the number 30 machine, that bright green race truck of Joshua Sobel? He was involved in that accident. He went spinning through the grass down there, and he's continued to be in this lead pack. So good news, Rich. Doesn't look like all too much damage on the number 30 of Josh Sobel here, as we now just have 5 laps to the stage break. And like you mentioned, Alex, trying to get every single stage point that they can get.
Oh yeah, it's a long season, but 10 points to win the stage here is huge. Every little point counts. But yeah, going back to Mike Teller, he was second in practice. I know we need to see practice on the stream, but he was second in practice next to Alonso, and he had high hopes coming in, so hopefully he'll get his lap back here when caution flies. 30 truck, he's having quite the experience. He just came in, joined the league this afternoon, so this is his first race. I know his heart had to jump out his throat there on that first incident.
Yeah, definitely not the best way to start your career in an accident in your first 15 laps or so, but good news, doesn't look like a whole lot of damage. Probably got all of it fixed under that last caution flag, and here he is up there inside the top 7, although meandering a little bit down the backstretch as you see the number 8 machine of Cody Luke have a little bit of connection issues as that Budweiser number 8 goes off into turn number 3 and 4 here. Really good look of these different trucks here tonight for all of you back home. And one thing I really love about what we see here is I think we have the number 93 machine. We have a couple of takers to pit road back here, that being the number 93 of Brandon Masajewski in that car, and Eric Wineland in the number 21. So both of these trucks going to come down pit road here, probably top off with fuel. Interesting strategy call here, knowing that caution flag is going to come out here in about 3 laps from now.
Yeah, it's something we didn't touch on is just like in real life, the pit's closed with 2 to go on the stage, so this was their last opportunity to pit before caution comes out. So looking to take advantage of a little bit of strategy.
And that is for 2 laps to the stage break this time, and you can start to see really the action hotting up. This is something you don't often see in leagues that don't have the stage breaks, Alex, because there's nothing to really... Oh, we got one car in the wall back there. Who was that that was in the wall? Was that... I think that was Chidester in the number 23 machine. We'll go back and quickly get an instant replay of this one coming out of the corner. He's up there on the left-hand side of your screen in the black and orange machine, and I don't know if that had a little bit of disconnect thing or on his wheel, or look down. Oh man, came down back across the racetrack very dangerously, but kind of an unforced error right there, making some pretty hefty contact with the wall.
Yeah, tough break. It definitely had a look of, maybe going to desktop or something where the wheel shutting off. Definitely pretty abnormal there. But we're coming here to one to go here to the stage end, and we're 2 by 2 heading to the finish line here.
Yeah, and that number 78 of Duke trying to get around Chicano. We're now working lap number 20. So I believe it will be this time by 20. Once we get 20 laps in the books, they know that they will see the end of the stage right here. So they're trying to get all they can get coming out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. And this blimp cam just shows how much that inside line is trying to push their way. But now the outside line starting to form up as the 78 of Duke gets a big push off into turn number 3.
Yeah, huge push here, and here comes the 61 pushing 25. They're going to have all the momentum here coming off of 4. Heading to the start-finish line.
That outside line breaks up. They go 3 wide back behind, but the 25 throws a block on the 61 of Stafford. Is Stafford going to get him at the line? He does. Stafford. Yeah. Wow, what a fantastic move there by the 61 machine right there coming to the line, Alex.
Incredible, and we still got 2 more. This was just for the first stage.
Yeah, and man, look at that move just to get underneath that number 25 machine. The 25 threw that block, but it wasn't meant to be because Stafford just kind of sliced his way back underneath. That was some fantastic heads-up driving from the driver of the number 61 machine. Your Majors Garage pole winner here tonight, again winning the first stage. So far has led 9 laps as well. So a very strong start for the number 61 machine here in the 2021 Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series, as all the field will line up behind the pace car. But time to catch our breath a little bit, Alex, after some really good excitement here in the first 20 or so laps.
Oh yeah, definitely. Out of breath myself, but great job at 61 there, Brand understanding how the air works. Came off of Alonso there and dumped all that air onto Alonso's spoiler and just caused a parachute effect. And just incredible to watch.
So we will see these drivers come down pit road this time. We do believe, at least at the front of the field, because Bronson Stafford is yet to come down pit road here tonight. In fact, the top 6, Stafford, Chicano, Webb, Duke, Goosens, and Cody Luke, all of those drivers have yet to come down pit road here tonight at Daytona. So they will come down, take on fuel. Not sure about other drivers. We know that the other drivers are good to the second stage break on lap number 40. So those trucks might stay out and get a little bit of that track position, because one thing I'm starting to see here tonight, Alex, is track position might actually be a little important, because the front 2 have been the front 2 now for about the last 10 to 12 laps.
Oh yeah, for sure. You get out front there and you kind of take a sigh and a little breather, and it seems like top 4 or 6 seem to be able to stay there until someone mixes you up.
Yeah, you see the front drivers coming down pit road like we expected here on 3 Wide TV. The 61 there, Stafford, going down into his pit box and trying to not slide it through his pit box, because that's one thing that you often see. In fact, I think maybe the 78 machine might have just slid through his pit box. David Duke, as you see that
78 did slide through his box.
Yeah, it's easy to do, Alex, with the brake package that you run with these trucks on these super speedways, as we see Mike Tellier getting the lucky dog to get himself back on the lead lap. He will be the 20th scored truck here once we go back to green flag, presumably in just a little bit. But tell the folks at home how difficult it is to get stopped into your box with this brake package that these trucks run.
Yeah, especially at these super speedways, you run such small brakes that it's really tough to get into that box. It definitely takes a lot of practice. It's what separates. You can really see the separation between the guys that work incredibly hard and practice it compared to the ones that don't. Getting into pit road is totally important on every track, but especially in super speedways.
Yeah, you see David Duke there struggling to find his pit box there, and he probably just slid through it just a little bit. But he's back out there on the racetrack now, but did lose quite a bit of track position now, being scored down in the 13th spot. But one driver who did stay out, that would be Dylan Kritz in the Toyota Tundra right there, leading the number 37 of Jason Taylor, who's got himself up into the top 5. And then we had a couple of those drivers who pitted just 2 or 3 laps there before the stage break, that being the number 93 right there. Of Brendan Masajewski and the number 21 of Eric Wineland. They're going to line up 3rd and 4th here on this restart, which will be upcoming in 1 lap from now. It'll be lap number 25. When the green flag drops, it'll be 24 laps in the books, and we will be just about at the quarter race distance here tonight, Alex.
Oh yeah, we're moving right along here. It'll be interesting how these trucks with a little bit older tires do against the trucks that just pitted on this caution.
Of course, one of the relatively new additions to iRacing, and one that I am a very big fan of, I'm sure you are yourself, is the shorter yellows at these super speedways. Do you remember back a couple of years ago in iRacing when it felt like you were under caution at these super speedways for an absolute eternity, Alex?
Yeah, it felt like it took forever. It just, you hated it. But yeah, these quick yellows took a while to get used to it. I think a lot of us were getting black flags the first few times because we weren't used to it, but it really has helped, especially these late races.
Yeah, that is for sure. I know I, back in the day, used to run a lot of official iRacing races, and I have definitely been in my fair share of official iRacing races that ran more laps under yellow than under green. In fact, one race that I took part of back in the day was a 100% World 600. There was 222 laps of a 400-lap race at Charlotte Motor Speedway run under caution. I wish they had the quickie yellows back then, but speaking of quickie yellows, pace truck is on pit road, green flag in the flagman's hand, and we're back racing here at Daytona. The number 5 machine cuts down up in front of the number 21, gets to the race lead right now.
Yeah, the 37 truck there definitely spun his tires getting up through the gears here on the restart. And lost. Looks like he's going to lose 4 spots.
An outside line, though, formed up really nicely. Wineland in the number 21 being pushed to the race lead by the number 25 of Chicano as the field scatters out. Ooh, the 5 of Kritz thought about trying to take it 3 wide up the middle. He might still be thinking about trying to take it 3 wide, but things settle down. And it looks like Wineland in the number 21 with that little bit different pit strategy, pitting there just a lap or 2 before that stage break, is going to get himself up to the race lead as we are officially quarter race distance this time by.
Yeah, we see Alonso and Mitchell working the outside here, trying to get up to the lead themselves.
Yeah, that is for sure. You see all the trucks there racing off into turn number 1. It's a great looking race trucks here, a great looking field. And that's one thing I wanted to mention was that here on 3Y TV, we get to see a lot of different race cars. We get to see a lot of different designers paint their race cars and design them and really customize them to what they want to see themselves in on the racetrack. And it's really cool to see every single time different race cars out there, different looks, different colors. And here tonight, we see some stellar ones and a lot of bright, colorful trucks, which makes it very easy to recognize who is who. Is the 61 machine. That's one driver we've seen a lot of here tonight. The 61 of Bronson Stafford there, slicing his way up to the high side. He'll be the 4th truck in line up there, right behind the number 99 of Carl Felver, who doesn't appear to have a number on the side of that race truck right there. But, ooh, man, they got a little bit tight there coming out of turn number 2, and you can see they got tight, and there was a couple of drivers who react to that, and that leads to that snake I was talking about a little while ago.
Oh yeah, the dreaded side draft that people say does exist. It doesn't exist here in iRacing, but I don't know. I tend to halfway believe it does, or at least it scares people to make it think it does, because you get down to that person's score panel, and they seem to slow up or at least crack the throttle.
You see the leaders, though, they will not be cracking the throttle. They will be flat out as Chicano and Wineland continue to lead the two trains of trucks around the high banks of Daytona, just a stone's throw away from Daytona Beach in the grand scheme of things. And really a fantastic place to check out, and I'm sure it's on a lot of race fans' bucket lists as they have it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the 99 and the 61 almost had a big moment, and with the 61 and how fast he has been here tonight, that is not what you want to see. Here we go, on board with the 99 here on the replay, and was this just a bump gone bad? Oh yeah, it was just a little bit of a nudge, and fantastic job by those two drivers to check up, realize what was going on, and say, you know what, it's time to check up and live to fight another day.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it looks like the 99 there has a little bit of damage on the back bumper there. And it's going to be making it a little tough to push on. I'll make it.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's something we don't often talk about, Alex. And is that the iRacing hitbox, if you will, does actually change based off of how the bumpers are on a certain truck. So with that damage that you see on that number 99. It might, like you said, be just a little bit more difficult to bump. And right now, he's leading that outside train. That could be very detrimental to that outside groove if the 61 cannot get to the back bumper of the number 99.
Well, here comes the 21 of Eric going back up, trying to get in front of the 99 there. Get the lead back here. We saw Alonso and the 29 truck there get in front of him, and Eric wants to get back out front here as fast as possible.
Yeah, we might have been 3 wide there for just a brief moment on 3 wide TV. The 37 and the 5, they're ducking down onto the bottom side of the racetrack. There's no passing allowed here in the Galaxy Truck Series below the yellow line, so I think they're just kind of backing out of that lead pack. Maybe they don't like what they see. They think it's getting a little bit too racy. And that really leads us to one discussion that we haven't had here tonight, which is a bit surprising as we close in on the third race distance, is the big one. There's 2 strategies to be away from the big one. Alex, 1, you want to be in front of it. 1, you want to be behind it. What's your particular strategy? Do you have one?
I'm kind of like that 5 truck. I try to get up front, but if I don't get up there and I see these guys slicing and dicing through the field and seeing trucks get looser, we just saw the 21 get a bump, get loose. I tend to back out and hang out back till the last little bit, but it all depends on where you're at.
To finish first you must finish, and that is definitely the case here on the super speedways, probably more so on the super speedways than any other racetrack, because just get a little bit of damage and your night can be completely toast. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone well for Brian Branham and Corey Bradley, both of those trucks on pit road. Cody Malno, I believe he might have succumbed to the 115% rule. We saw him out there on the racetrack after the earlier accident, but he was about to fall 1 lap down. And there is a rule here in the Galaxy Truck Series that you have to maintain 115% of the fastest lap time of the race. He might have fallen foul of that, and that might be why he is on pit road. Currently being scored 8 laps down, but up at the front of the field. 3 wide on 3 wide TV. The number 99 up the middle, the 61 on the high side. But now the 61 left all by himself up there as we're tight coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, 99 here really showing a lot of aggression here, going for those stage points here. And we got 7 laps left here. A lot of slicing and dicing by these guys.
Lots of slicing and dicing as you see them work their way through turn number 1 and 2. Now onto the backstretch, the inside line continuing to pull ahead once again. You see all of those trucks trying to slice, and oh no, the 99 machine. What happened there? We stay green. They keep their foot in it once again, but that was the second time in about 5 laps that we have seen a bump almost go terribly bad on the backstretch. But again, somehow, some way, we stay green.
Yeah, a miracle that we stayed green there, but that's going to cause a lot of damage to that 29 truck, right in the suspension, in the right front tire there. It's not going to be good.
And could that be again that rear bumper of the number 99 machine? I think it was, because the 93 was giving the 99 a pretty square bump. And like you mentioned, that number 29 machine, not really his own fault, nothing of his own doing. Oh, man, you see him trying to wheel it down there below that double yellow line on the apron. He's just going to have to wait it out. He does have the stage caution flag coming up here in about 7 laps from now. He might have a little bit of damage, but doesn't look like the number 29 machine will be back in it before the stage caution here in just a little bit. But speaking of that stage caution, we got we got a wreck in the back. There's the 60 machine, 22. Looks like the 60 might have made it through, but looks like we're going to have to break this one down here on 3 Wide TV, Alex, on the replay. Oh, so that happened. Oh, that happened well back. We'll see if we can get one more look at that.
Looks like the 78 gave the 22 a little bump, and the bump count went wrong and sent the 22 up into the wall. Bunch of craziness.
Yeah, that was definitely not good. We'll see if we can get one more look out back of looking at, I think, the number 78 machine from the number 22. We'll put this kind of in slow motion here. Here comes the 78. There's the nudge, just a little bit off center. The 22 trying to do everything he can to save it, but up into that outside wall and nowhere for Chidester there in the number 23 machine to go. Heavy hit and 2 grenaded engines.
Oh yeah, terrible luck for these guys. 22 is just along for the ride at that point. When you get a bump like that, you want the bump because it helps you, but when you get that bump originally, you're kind of just along for the ride. You kind of lose your steering for a couple seconds, and as soon as he touched the apron, it was over.
Yeah, and you could see that 23 of Chidester thought that inside of the racetrack would be clear, but the 22 just came down at the very last moment, and as you can see right there back live, the number 23 of Chidester on pit road, heavy damage. Same thing with Dave Fuge Jr. in the number 22 machine. There he is, got Dale Jr. graphics on the hood, but meanwhile, pretty much everyone else is coming down pit road as the 37 has problems getting into his pit box.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget, this is a huge break for the 29 truck here, who got involved in a little bump with the 99 and fell way back and out of the draft. He was able to catch up and get on pit road here and fix his damage.
Yeah, that is for sure, and might actually have an opportunity to fight for some stage points here in just a little bit. Well, let's see if possibly here on 3 Wide TV, let's see if we can talk to the number 21 machine of Eric Wineland, who's currently leading the race, and I'm curious to know what he's thinking of. Well, you know what? I would like to talk to the number 21 machine of Eric Wineland, but unfortunately does not look like I have the ability to move him up here into the booth here. So you know what? You can win some, you can lose some, but for right now, the number 21 machine of Eric Wineland is your race leader over the number 93. The other truck that he actually pitted with on that separate pit strategy just a little while ago, right there. That's Brandon Masajiski. Probably butchering that name. Hopefully I'm not, but you never really know until someone tells you, hey, you're saying it wrong. But definitely a really cool looking race truck. I really like that number 93 scheme. Got that, at least in my opinion, the old Stacy Compton vibe to it, which is always really cool to see on a racetrack as he works his way through the tri-oval. We will have a shootout to end stage number 2 here at Daytona, as it looks like the pace truck lights have indeed turned off. So, folks, if you're at home and you do the math, it's going to be a 3-lap shootout when we go back green here for all the stage points.
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting to see how aggressive these guys get, if they continue to be aggressive or if this accident may quiet them down. But those stage points are so important. I have a feeling they're still going to be aggressive here.
Yeah, we were actually seeing them really be aggressive there before all that. I mean, in the past 5 laps leading up to that caution, we had seen probably 3 or 4 attempts, I would say, Alex, at an accident. And that really just goes to show how important these stage points actually are.
Oh yeah, every little point counts. I think think last year I finished fourth in the Truck Series by like 3 or 4 points because I blew a motor with like 25 laps to go in Phoenix, and ended up losing just by a few points. And you can look back, find those points almost anywhere.
Yeah, that is for sure. You go back and look at your season and go, man, I could have done this here, or I could have done that there, or, maybe I tried to get in the mix at Daytona too early. You go back and look, and your season can end up being a series of what ifs, right? You have to write those pages of the storybook lap after lap, and it can happen on lap number 38 at Daytona. It can happen on lap number 105 at Phoenix at the end of the season. You never really know, and that is one of the great things about the Galaxy Truck Series. We're about to go back to green flag here at Daytona. The 21 of Wineland going to lead us down, trying to get a bump from the number 25 at Chicano as they head off into turn number 1. 3 laps until the second stage break.
Yeah, it looks like the outside broke up and wanted to get down to the bottom as quick as possible here. And as we see 25 Alonso get left out to dry here, he should be able to fall in 961.
And that is exactly what he does. Gets that clear, all clear from the spotter, jumps down to the inside groove. As we head off, you see that field just racing their way towards our camera right here at turn number 3, already wound up to 180 miles an hour as they dive off into the corner. Can't rule out the number 61 machine. Look at that, Alex. The 61 of Stafford creeping his way back up into the picture up at the front of the field. He was the winner of stage number 1 just a little while ago. Can he do the same here in stage number 2? 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be thinking about doing the same thing here. But you see the 25 of Alonso and Cam and the 12 there are teammates, and they're going to work together to try to get to the front here, I believe.
Yeah, and of course, Cam Caldwell was involved in the early accident there in the first 15 laps in the number 12 machine, so good recovery for him in that race truck, similar to Joshua Sobel, also involved in that accident. But Chicano right now, and Caldwell, you called it, Alex. Working together on the high groove, the teammates there able to push their way to 1-2 right now. Chop down in front of Wineland, and now Wineland's going to jump up to the high side. He's going to try and get a little bit of help from Massajuski here as we go through the tri-oval. One more lap until stage number 2 comes to its conclusion.
That's right, 2 Fords against 2 Chevys heading into the final lap here at this stage. I'm a blue oval guy, so I got to be pulling for the blue ovals, but be interesting here to see who gets the bigger push.
A 61 machine of Stafford there boxed in behind the 2 Chevrolets, like you mentioned, but the 2 blue ovals on the high side. Whoa! That number 12 of Caldwell. Caldwell has a little bit of rear end damage, much like the number 99. That might have not worked in his favor, as this is going to be a run and a sprint back to the start-finish line to see who's going to win the second stage here tonight. Coming out of turn number 4, who's it going to be, Alex?
I don't know. There's nose to nose here. It's going to be close. It looks like Alonso's going to have it by just a hair.
Yeah, and that is an absolute hair. I don't know what that difference was there.
7/1000ths of a second there. That was close.
You're not going to see many finishes closer than that one here on 3 Wide TV. Now, granted, we did have one last night here on the channel, but a great job by the number 25 and the 12 of Cam Caldwell there. A couple of teammates already working together, and you and I know, Alex, that teamwork and teammates are so important here at these super speedways if you can get hooked up together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you do, like you mentioned there, the 12 of Cam there, he's got that same damage as 99 did. And it's got to have something to do with that 61 hit the 99, and it's the same way and same reaction. It just car gets totally loose, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back get a replay of that run to the finish for all the fans back home as the field just trying to get lined up with the pace car. Let's see if we can see this. The 25 there getting that push from the number 12, the 21 getting a push from the number 93, and it was probably a quarter of a hood that the number 25 machine was able to get that win. But man, oh man, that was a great run. Once again, second time here tonight on the channel that we have seen a frantic dash showing the quality of the Galaxy Truck Series drivers to get to the green-white checker nice and cleanly, but at the same time, very, very tight up at the front.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just makes you excited to see what they're going to do here in the last 50 laps here. Or
Yeah.
60.
And you see all of the trucks here working their way through turn number 3 and 4. There is Alonso Chicano winning that stage by 7/1000ths of a second. And now the big question is going to be, which one of these trucks are going to head down pit road? Are we going to see the leaders head down pit road? It looks like maybe Cam Caldwell's thinking of headed down pit road. Not sure. It looks
I
like...
know if it was me, I'd be screaming to the crew chief, give me 4 tires and gas, as crazy as it's been, setting up for the finish here. But that would be my take.
Yeah, and it looks like we are seeing the number 25 machine head to his pit box right here. So pretty much the entire field coming down pit road. I think we did have 2 drivers stay out, Dylan Kritz and Jason Taylor. But looks like a couple of drivers maybe just thinking about fuel only as the number 29 machine. Remember, he was... I think he might have actually come down pit road under the last caution flag, but he's going to be the first truck off pit road. That's a smart move by him. I think he filled up with fuel under the last caution there about 4 laps before the stage break end. And I think he just came down, got a splash of fuel in, and he's back out there on the racetrack. I got to say, good move there by the 29.
Oh yeah, great move, and hopefully, I think he got most of his damage fixed last time, so hopefully he's back up to par and able to run with these guys.
Now let's see if we can see any damage on that number 29 truck. It's looking pretty clean, at least from the left-hand side. Granted, that contact that was made with the number 99, I believe it was, on the right-hand side. As you can see, looks like Elmo and Cookie Monster down there just below the number 2 on that race truck, just kind of poking their heads up there below the racetrack, or from the bottom side of the truck, I should say, where the racetrack is. But that number 29 truck is one of the coolest trucks out there on the racetrack. I really like that lightning effect. And back when I was a lot younger, NASCAR Thunder EA Sports games, I always used to run that lightning scheme. Very much like that. And that number 29 machine currently being scored in the 3rd position right now as he works his way here through the tri-oval with just under 60 laps to go here at Daytona. So truck lights, pace truck lights have indeed turned off, so that's good news. We'll get set to going back green here on lap number 45. We'll be just 6 laps away from the cross flags here from the scheduled distance. But one thing about this truck series, and hopefully we don't see a lot of this here tonight, Alex, but is unlimited green-white checker attempts.
Yeah, I'm not sure, is it set to unlimited or is it set to only 3? But anyway, yeah, I know that's something that everyone's got to think about, especially planning their last pit stop here, somewhere in the middle of this last stage.
And you see everyone running down the back stretch here. A very, very good-looking field, as we've mentioned here tonight. Folks, if you're in the chat, hopefully you made it here. I think we had a little bit of an issue there right at the top of the show, so I think the original stream link isn't quite working anymore. There was some hiccups, but we were able to get it all sorted out there just after the Majors Garage Pole Shootout, which, of course, the Majors Garage Pole did go to the number 61 machine of Bronson Stafford, and congratulations to him for picking up the first pole award of the season. But if you're in the chat, we have Rich Sobel, we got Radius Racing, and Gage B28. Gage rooting on the number 25 machine of Alonso Chicano, of course, winning that 2nd stage. So we'll keep an eye on them for you here all night long. If there's someone you're rooting on here tonight, would you like some onboard action with? Let us know as we're back to green flag racing. The number 5 of Dylan Kritz leads us to turn number 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that was planned, to be able to drop right in front of 37 and be able to try to pull away and stay out front here.
So they weave and bob their way, going off into turn number 1 and 2. The 37 of Jason Taylor there tucked up right underneath the number 5. And like you said, that might have been planned. We do see that at these super speedways where if you have a teammate right near you, you can kind of time the restarts. Even though you're supposed to go on the green flag here, I believe that is one of the rules in the Galaxy Truck Series.
It's actually you decide when to go after the pace car comes off, and you actually get lane choice as well. So.
Okay, so that is definitely, that gives you that freedom to cut down in front of the other truck, right? And kind of manage that restart to your advantage. And I think that's what we just saw the number 5 machine do right there. That makes a little bit more sense as you see the 37 and the 29 back behind him starting to weave and bob themselves, trying to get lined up. Now we're starting to see the Stay Tuned Sports, number 30 of Joshua Sobel. Look at the teammates, the 25 and the 12, a little bit further back. They jumped up to the high side. And how about the number 1 machine? That's Chris Parkman. The Mountain Dew bright green and black machine right there on the right-hand side of your screen. Now right in the center of your screen going up to the top side as the couple of Toyota Tundras of Sobel and Stafford hooked up on the high line trying to get the race lead as Sobel might have got a little bit loose there into the tri-oval. We're 3 wide for the race lead.
Yeah, 30 car got shuffled out there, but he did get to lead that lap there. But crazy night for him. I can't imagine the up and down emotions he's had so far. And same thing with 61, he's been up and down too. But he's got such a strong truck that he can kind of go wherever he wants.
Yeah, now the number 30 is in the sucker hole right now. Doesn't have any help. Got trucks to his outside, trucks to his inside. Now he might get a little bit of a help as a couple of the trucks in front of him have kind of ducked down to the middle groove, which is where you find him right now as he continues to drop back. There's the 99 machine to his inside, Carl Felver, and that's the number 23 machine of Richard Chidester. That we saw down there on the inside. Looks like Sobel finally able to get the clear inside call from his spotter. So we're back to just 2 by 2 by 2. Now all the way back through the first 13 or 14 trucks, I think, right there with the number 11 of Kyle Ammon in his race car. We go on board with him right here. He's being scored down in 14th position, but you can see very much up here in this lead train.
Yeah, he's kept his truck pretty clean all night so far, and I think they're just waiting towards the end. But you see their teammates here, Alonso and Cam up here, thinking about going 3 wide here or pushing the 1. I'm not sure what the 25 wants to decide to do here.
Yeah, there is the 25 that you just mentioned. Got his teammate Cam Caldwell right behind him, and we are now just 2 laps away from the crossed flags here at Daytona. It will be 125 miles in the books, 125 miles left to go, with the possibility of having a little bit of overtime action here on 3 Wide TV as they again flashed their way 180 miles an hour plus, working their way onto the backstretch. Once again, the super stretch as it is known here at Daytona. We have a couple of cars there on the bottom side of the racetrack. I think that might be the 78 of David Duke and the number 99. It is indeed the 99, of course, Carl Felver backing off a little bit, probably thinking, you know what, it's getting a little bit too racy for them at this moment in time up at the front of the field.
Yeah, they're probably just figured, we better just sit back here, wait till after we pit and see where we shake out. But meanwhile, up at the front here, we have 29 and the 1 and 25 all trying to figure out where to go here. And 29 definitely has no ill effects of that damage, and he's looking to try to get up towards the lead.
Yeah, and they were 3 wide there briefly coming out through the tri-oval, but now we're back to 2 by 2 by 2 as they race down the super stretch once again. And I just love the looks of these trucks here under the lights flashing by. Oh, contact! The 25 and the 37, heavy contact. This is the big one here at Daytona. Wow.
Yeah, great. It looks like Alonso there went 3 wide, and it didn't work out very well, and unfortunately took out a bunch of good trucks.
Yeah, you see the wiggles, and oh my goodness, that's the number 29 machine going up into the catch fence. Cam Caldwell involved, like you mentioned, the 25 of Alonso involved. That is one massive accident. We got quite a few trucks here smoking, and it will be day done. We'll get one more look at this one, and we usually talk about the big one. You either want to be in front of it or behind it, but this one pretty much got this entire gaggle of trucks.
Oh yeah, as you see from the replay there, Alonso had a split second to decide to go 3 wide. He did. And it actually looked like the 29 may have came down on the 25 there and kind of caused that to happen. But tough break. No one wants to see that happen. No one tries to make that happen. Trucks just kind of move around, especially when you get 3 wide there.
Yeah, you see them coming down the backstretch. All was nice and calm at this moment in time, but it does not end up that way. As you see them go off into the corner, on board with the number 29 machine, he gets launched up into the catch fence right there, finally coming back down to earth. But you can just get an indication there of all the different trucks involved. And perhaps we can go back and maybe get a look and see if we can pause it and just count how many trucks we have involved in this accident here. Looks like Josh Sobel might have just squeaked his way through it. Let's pause it here. Definitely, I'm seeing about 7 or 8 trucks here involved, which was a good portion of your front pack, if not more, maybe even 9 to 10 trucks involved in that one. We'll roll the tape here because there was even a couple of drivers right there at the back end of it who got a piece of it. You see the number 99 there kind of spinning up the racetrack. But folks, that is going to significantly whittle down the field here as back live up at the front of the field. One driver who was able to squeak through it because he was at the front of the field, the number 5 machine of Dylan Kritz. Remember, Alex, he used a little bit of pit strategy to get up there at the front of the field. I'm sure he's glad he did. As you can see right now, it's been 16 laps since he was last on pit road.
Oh yeah, for sure. He made that decision and hope for the best, and you got to believe he's breathing a sigh of relief, thinking, he made it through that. But yeah, looks like we have a bunch of good trucks ending up having to take the tow truck back to the pits here. We had Jason Taylor, Mitchell Gossens, Chris Parkman, Alonso, and Brandon all had to take the tow truck back. So bad night for all those guys.
Yeah, so let's see who we have out there on the racetrack right now. We currently have pacing around the racetrack, I think, 9 trucks. With Bronson Stafford, the number 61 machine, your Majors Garage Pole Shootout winner. There he is. Looks like that truck is clean. Looking at his pit stop time, though, he had a pretty lengthy pit stop at 40 seconds in length. He must have caught a piece of it, but doesn't look all too bad. That's the good news. You see maybe that right front crinkled in just a little bit. And, damage here at Daytona. I know you've probably been here at these super speedway races and iRacing before, Alex, where you just smack the wall and it's day done. But sometimes you can just kind of luck out. It looks like your car's completely beat up, but it doesn't feel like it's lost a whole lot of pace. So hopefully for that number 61, the latter is the case, that he'll be able to stick with the lead pack. Meanwhile, look at Mike Tellier there in the number 97 machine. He was involved in that first major accident that we had here tonight, and he's back on the podium as of right now.
Yeah, another radius truck here. He's got to kind of be happy that he kind of hung around the back. Same thing with that 11 truck. He's got to be kind of happy. We've got 3 radius trucks with the 60 as well. Going to see what they can do now.
Yeah, I'm counting the number of trucks we have out there right now, Alex. It is 9. So that wreck taking out a significant portion of the field, trying to see if anyone is headed off pit road right now. I'm not seeing anyone work their way off of pit road right now. There you see a bunch of these trucks, I don't know what I'm trying to say. A crumpled mess. There we go. A crumpled mess of trucks down there on pit road right here on the front stretch. But hopefully the 9 trucks that are still left in it here at Daytona can continue to put on a show for all of you fans back at home. We've seen a lot of good racing here tonight, and we have 47 laps this time by to sort out who's going to win the first In the Pits News Truck Series race of the season here in the Galaxy Truck Series. I'm Peter Short, and of course, in the booth alongside me here tonight is none other than Alex Brinson, and we're back green flag racing, Alex.
Oh yeah, and the 5 and the 97 kind of hooked up there at the start and seemed to be pulling away. The 99 looks like he has a ton of damage, but I have to see how he hangs up there trying to pull this line. It's a lot easier to push someone than it is to pull the line when you got damage, but he seems to be doing all right. The 11 seems to be pulling him quite good here to the lead.
Yeah, remember what we saw that number 99 machine do just a little while ago, Alex? That was, he pulled out. He went down to the bottom side of the racetrack and said, I'm going to drop to the back, and he did so, I think, with the number 78 of David Duke. Now, Duke wasn't so lucky. He was involved in that accident, but oh, my goodness, that was a pretty big move there by the number 60, one of the radius machines of Scott Roush in that truck. He must have a lot of, he's still throwing up some sparks on that truck. Something definitely going wrong for the number 60. As you see, a couple of the trucks back there might be struggling to get up to pace, including the 21 of Wineland and the number 30 of Sobel. But at least for right now, Scott Roush in danger of possibly losing the lead pack.
Yeah, the really nice thing about these trucks is they punch such a huge hole that you can usually fall quite a ways back and still grab the lead as long as you got the RPMs of the engine. It looks like that's what's happening with the 60 here.
Yeah, he was really closing in, so that is good news. I thought he was going to be in danger of losing it, but definitely seems like he's going to be able to hold on. Hopefully, the same will be true for the number 30 of Joshua Sobel. As you see, the number 61 of Bronson Stafford in that truck right now. Out of the top 9 right now, he is the driver who has led the most laps. In fact, we'll bring that up at the top of the screen here shortly. Stafford leading 13 laps. Chicano so far has led the most laps at 21. The number 11 of Kyle Ammon, though, he's only led 1 lap so far. Oh, the 99! The 99 machine goes spinning on the backstretch. Will this bring out the caution flag? He's well off the racetrack, and I don't think it will. So it looks like we're going to stay green here, Alex.
Yeah, we stay green, and it sounds like the 61 said that the 99 came down on him. We'll have to see here on the replay.
Yeah, we'll see this one from high atop. The number 99 was the second car in line right behind Ammon in the number 11. The 61, he stays down there, and oh man, that's kind of a tough one to call. I think we had one truck going up the racetrack and maybe another one coming down the racetrack. That could just be 2 trucks trying to go for the same spot on the same real estate on the racetrack, just having it coming together.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, you only got a split second at these speeds here. And spotter can't be right out then.
Yeah, and great job there by Felver to get that truck turned around, going back in the right direction. Meanwhile, the truck that he made contact with, the number 61 of Bronson Stafford, trying to go for the race lead. But as I say that, here comes the number 5 in the 60s in the wall, once again throwing sparks out the right side of that truck. Not the first time here in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, that 60 truck just does not like to get up underneath another truck, but it's got plenty of speed. At least it looks like. But yeah, when it gets tucked up under another truck, it seems to get pretty loose.
So our front pack now down to just 7 trucks. It was 9 a couple laps ago, but it does look like the number 60 of Roush. I think he is too far back this time to gain that lead pack. Yeah, they punch a big hole in the air, Alex, but not that big of a hole in the air.
Not that big, and you got the 5 here pushing the 61 to the lead, going into 3.
Yeah, Stafford in that number 61 machine, like we just mentioned, he's led 13 laps, trying to make it 14 this time by. It'll be 42 laps to go here at Daytona this time by as we close in on the final 100 miles of the race. Hope you're enjoying a little bit of Galaxy Truck Series action here on 3Y TV. Brought to you by In the Pits News. Make sure you go check them out, as well as our friends over at Major's Garage, because great place. In fact, I believe that's part of the Majors racing group, the Majors League, and great group of people to work with. I've raced in a Majors event myself, and you see the 61 maybe getting a little bit of a bad bump there down the backstretch, but here comes the number 11. Kyle Ammon wants the race lead back. He just had it a few laps ago, and now we got a couple of Chevrolets up on the high side, a couple Toyotas on the inside line. What are we going to do here?
Yeah, we got the 8 truck here. We haven't really talked about Cody Luke. We haven't talked too much about him all night, and he's kind of benefited from all these trucks getting incidents here.
Don't you just love those drivers, kind of like Kevin Harvick, Mr. Where did he come from? You know, you don't talk about him here at these super speedways, and all of a sudden you look up and go, huh, we haven't seen that truck all night, and here they are racing for a top 5 with 41 laps to go with all these trucks kind of whittled down. They go around the lap truck. That, I believe, was Dustin Webb in the number 82. He's one of the few trucks that has worked his way back out onto the racetrack. Curious to know whether or not he's going to fall foul of the 115% rule and might be asked to leave the racing surface. We'll keep an eye on that here as he is currently being scored 7 laps down. But up at the front, the number 5 of Crit's going to try and lead the lap as they go across the stripe. No, that time by Bronson Stafford was able to get to the stripe first.
Oh yeah, it seems like we got the 11 truck there of Kyle Almond just kind of pushing whoever he wants up front. He pushed the 5 to the front, now he's pushing 61 to the front. It's kind of fun when you get down to just these few cars, you know, when you're driving, you kind of play around and try new things, and you don't have to worry about all the extras.
Well, you know, I was literally just thinking about that as they went across the stripe last time by. I was thinking, you know, Bronson Stafford there, he led that lap by just a few thousandths of a second. And I'm wondering if he's thinking about just playing around, trying something different, and trying to figure out how he's going to get to the stripe first here tonight, because we've already seen him make that late charge to win the first stage here tonight at lap number 20. Is he thinking about doing something similar at the end, just trying to see if that truck still has it in it? It looks like it does. It does have a little bit of right front damage, like we highlighted there from that last big accident, but for right now, Bronson Stafford leading the way over the number 5 of Crits. Eric Wineland at 3rd. Mike Floppy Tellier there sitting in 4th. And Kyle Ammon currently rounding out your top 5. Ammon being the first truck there on the high line, trying to get a push from Cody Luke in the number 8 machine. But as these laps continue to wind down, I think we're going to see more and more of these trucks try to figure out something for that last late race push to the checkered flag.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to constantly be thinking, okay, how can I be in first spot on the last lap or coming to the checker? You're constantly thinking about it. And the 11 truck is definitely trying to figure out how he can push here and how it's good.
Yeah, one thing we also haven't really talked about here tonight, Alex, is the fact that you can actually overheat these trucks if you push a car in front of you for too long. You actually get a gauge on your dash that starts to blink red, tells you that your oil or water temps are going too high. And if you start to see that, you know to kind of back off, get a little bit more air into the radiator. Do you think some of these drivers might be learning, hey, this is how much you can push for? Because so many times here on the channel, I've seen people in the final 3 laps just blow a motor because they push too much too late in the race.
Oh yeah, you gotta usually get 2 laps and trying to tandem the best you can, and it's just kind of setting yourself up, making sure you stay cool enough so you can do that 2 full laps at the end. But it seems like each year here on iRacing, they make it a little bit more difficult to tandem for more than a lap.
Yeah, and I'm sure all these drivers have that in the back of their head as Wineland gets a little bit of a nudge from the number 11 of Ammon. And great job by the 8 and the 11 sticking together, trying to do a little bit of tandeming together to pull alongside. But Wineland drops down to the bottom, and that gives the inside groove the numbers in the numbers game that you see here at Daytona, Talladega, and any other super speedway you might go to. Of course, iRacing recently added the iRacing Super Speedway to the service. You won't see that this season in the Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series, but you will see it in the service. In fact, we went there for the first time here on the channel last night. It was a lot of fun going to iRacing Super Speedway, just something a little bit different. I know some people are for it, some people are against it, and as someone who grew up playing NASCAR Racing 2003 season, of course it used to be known as Coca-Cola Super Speedway in that game, I was pretty happy to see iRacing Super Speedway added to the server. And unlike this track, iRacing Super Speedway is unrestricted. So these trucks would be pushing 220 miles an hour there versus the 180 that they're pushing here coming across the start-finish line this time by, as Eric Wineland picks up another lap lead in that blue oval. I know you said that you're pretty loyal to those blue ovals, but right now they don't have a lot of numbers in the front pack. Only one in that number 21 machine.
Yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty lonely out there with 2 Toyotas and 3 or 4 Chevys there. So 3 Toyotas, but yeah, he's got to feel pretty lonely. But he's in the best spot right now as he kind of pushed below the yellow line.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bump possibly gone wrong. We've seen a couple of those here tonight, but luckily this one they kind of check up and let the field gather itself back up. 34 laps to go this time by. Folks, if you're in the chat, make yourself heard, and hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series action here around the 2.5-mile famed Daytona International Speedway. If you're just now joining us, we'll bring up the race summary down there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. 5 cautions here for 13 laps as we just now getting to the 2/3 distance. Average pace under green flag of 49.434 with a blistering 185 miles an hour for these trucks. 21 lead changes, which if you do the math, 21 lead changes in the first 67 laps. That's a lead change just about every 3 laps here tonight, and that just gives you an indication of just how sporty the field has been. Unfortunately, whittled down, though, under a recent big accident down the backstretch off into turn number 3. That has really left us with only about 7 trucks in the lead pack. We know 9 can race in the lead pack, but unfortunately, we have had a couple of trucks fall off, and including the number 99. I'm surprised we didn't highlight that, but remember the 99 of Felver, Alex, he went spinning down the backstretch. Didn't look like he hit anything, but that number 99 machine appears to be off the racetrack, and his night might be done.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe he just realized he had too much damage. I also just noticed that the 60 truck just made an unscheduled pit stop there too. So I'm not sure if he came back out or if he's still on.
Yeah, I am getting word that he is making his way off of pit road back out onto the racetrack. So Scott Roush being scored 1 lap down. Good news for him. The only truck 1 lap down, so he would pick up the lucky dog if a caution flag was to come out. Here comes Josh Sobel in the number 30 machine. He's only led 1 lap here tonight in the Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra, making his Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series debut around this race here tonight. Of course, he usually races in the other series we broadcast here on Friday nights on the 3 Wide TV channel. So kind of mentioned, hey, I'm broadcasting a race here tonight. You have an off night. You know, if anyone's interested in watching the broadcast, I said, why don't you, come sit and enjoy it? Well, he decided to do one better than that, Alex. He decided to go ahead and race it. How about that? That's pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, you might as well, instead of watching, get up and drive. We were definitely looking for some numbers for tonight, and so it's great to have as many people as possible.
Yeah, that Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra now with a big run coming through the tri-oval and running up there on the top side just to the outside of the number 5 machine. Right there of crits, and just looks like that outside line's going to break up, but now the number 30 going to get a little bit of help from the number 8. What can the number 8 do? It seems like Luke is a pretty decent pusher tonight, Alex, but just doesn't seem like he's been able to really lead a train of trucks like we've seen out of some others, like the number 61, like the number 21, and of course the 25 machine, who unfortunately involved in that accident, that being Alonso Chicano, as well as the 12 of Cam Caldwell's. Oh, another bad bump there by the 61 machine. I'm not sure. The 61 has a little bit of nose damage, and I'm wondering, Alex, if maybe that nose damage is making it more difficult for him to bump draft another truck.
Yeah, he's been bumping a lot of trucks tonight, and it might have just crinkled that bumper just enough to be grabbing these other trucks. But they both know what they're doing, and if two guys know that's going to happen, you can deal with a little bit of looseness. But the 30 and 8 truck here are doing a pretty good job trying to overtake the 21.
Yeah, they go off into turn number 3 again, side by side. You're watching the front 5 trucks as the 6th place number 11, Kyle Ammon there coming into the picture, and the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier, who I'm sure he is just happy after being involved in that early race accident that he's up here in the top 7, because it looked like his night might have been done after just 15 or so laps. As the field now catches up to the back, I believe that is the number 80 machine of Scott Roush. That car right there is going to watch the lead train here go around him. He has all that right side damage and just made that unscheduled stop that you mentioned a couple laps ago. We'll see whether or not he can slot back in with the group, which I'm sure the number 11 of Kyle Ammon would love to see his teammate be with him in the lead pack with the Radius Racing team. We'll have to see whether or not that happens or not, but Eric Wineland continuing to lead. He's now led 15 laps tonight, and if he leads about 6 more, he will overtake Alonso Chicano for the most laps led so far in the race.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, that 11 truck, he's a great pusher tonight. Everyone I've seen him push ends up taking the lead here. But yeah, you got to be thinking, he's got to be wondering if he can push me. I think he's hoping to get 60.
Laps continuing to tick by here. Rich Sobel, very active in the chat, always rooting on the number 30 of Joshua Sobel. As Sobel going to drop now down to the inside line and leave the number 8 machine, who's now getting a little bit of help from Mike Floppy Tellier. But Sobel now down there on the inside groove, where it seems things have been a bit more stable down there on the inside groove tonight. We've seen the outside line able to make passes, but not consistently, as we got a bunch of trucks headed down pit road here. This will be the final pit stop if all things go caution free in the number 8. Wow, what a move there by the number 8. Not sure if he made it onto pit road smoothly and cleanly, but Cody Luke, wow, that was tight getting to pit road.
Yeah, if he made it on there without getting a penalty, that might be the move of the race there. But definitely barely got in there. I know he clipped the cone, but did he get inside the box? That's what matters.
You see the rush of trucks headed down to pit road, now on board with the number 8 machine. He went all the way into the grass and was just barely able to get onto pit road. We'll see whether or not he has any type of stop and hold. Oh, yes, he does. Stop and hold for the number 8 of Cody Luke. Also hearing that the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier also had a stop and hold penalty. So our front pack that at one point was 9, whittled down to 7, and now further whittled down to just 5, as all these trucks now trying to work their way up onto pit road. Great stop by Eric Wineland, Bronson Stafford, and Josh Sobel right there. But then we had a couple of others, Dylan Kritz and Kyle Ammon. They have lost touch with the front 3.
Yeah, Eric, he knows how to fit these trucks and get in and off pit road really fast. And it looks like the 61 and the 30 there kind of followed him in and were ready for him. These other trucks kind of got caught by surprise there, I think, and that might have hurt him a little bit getting on.
Yeah, definitely some interesting calls. I'm looking at my scoring pylon here, Alex, and I'm seeing Eric Wineland, 10-second pit stop, Bronson Stafford, a 9.3-second stop, Josh Sobel, 11.4. Dylan Kritz, looks like he actually might have taken 4 tires in the number 5 machine because he had a 14.8-second stop. Kyle Ammon, he had a respectable 12.5-second pit stop, somewhat on the longer end, but I think that he must have overshot his pit box or something, because his pit lane time much higher than most of the other trucks around him. Mike Tellier and Cody Luke also, both of those trucks receiving penalties. There is the number 8 machine, Cody Luke. There's the 97 of Tellier. He's just going off into turn number 3 right now. And you compare that with the race leaders, Eric Wineland in the number 21 machine is just about to flash off into turn number 1. So the 97 almost a half lap down, but the bad news for the 97 and the number 8, they're all by themselves out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how much slower they are compared to these top 3. Yeah, tough break for those other trucks there. They didn't. They must not have realized that they were coming to pit road there and didn't have time to uncheck the tires and bring the fuel level down.
You know, a lot of people in the chat who might be watching 3Y TV for the first time here tonight, you mentioned uncheck your tires. And of course, as a sim racer, I know that means, to tell your pit crew, hey, I don't want to take tires under this pit box. But how difficult is it for these race drivers going 180 miles an hour to flip through all of the iRacing menus one-handed, keeping one eye on the road, one eye on the screen that tells you what to do, to try and figure all that stuff out when you're going 180 miles an hour?
Yeah, it can be very difficult, especially if you don't have extra controls and stuff to kind of help you inside your rig. I know a lot of guys use voice activation. I use voice attack myself to kind of help with that, and some button boxes and stuff to make it easy. But yeah, I learned pretty early on that you just got to get in the habit of doing it right away, and not wait till those last few minutes, because you never know what might happen. And then the three guys decide to pit, and you're kind of caught out.
Yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest with you, Alex, that we saw that mad dash of trucks. As you see, the number 8 machine right there of Cody Luke, who was one of those trucks who got the pit road speeding penalties. You can continue to see the 21 machine get bad bumps off the nose of the 61. It seems like we see that now every 3 or 4 laps. We'll have to see whether or not Cody Luke can slot in with the lead trucks, or whether or not he slides back to the second group of trucks led by Dylan Kritz and Kyle Ammon. There they are, working their way out of turn number 4. And let's just kind of compare the lap times of the number 5 and the number 11, 2 trucks, versus the 3 trucks in front of them. Last time by, Joshua Sobel in third, 49.621. Dylan Kritz, 49.837. That is 0.2 of a second, and on a super speedway like this, 0.2 of a second per lap is pretty significant.
Well, yeah, that's huge. And I kind of wondered if the 11 there could push and see how long he could push, and maybe he can push for a lap or two, but it's going to be pretty hard to make up that gap.
And you see those trucks breaking up there, with now the 5 going to slot in behind the number 11. That could be one of 2 things there, Alex. One, maybe the number 11 needs to get clean air on the nose. Or 2, maybe the 5 thinks, you know what, maybe I'm a better pusher. Maybe I can push the number 11. Maybe the 5 setup is really to push another car. Maybe the number 11 has a better setup for leading, because if you're just now joining us for the first time here in the Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series, open setup, 100% races all season long. And really, that's something that the Galaxy Series has become known for, is those 100% races with those open setups. Alex?
Oh yeah, and I gotta believe that Kyle, being part of Radius, probably was maxed out on tape as high as he could be. So he probably said, hey, if I get out front, I'll probably get a better speed going here, being taped up.
Yeah, the bad news for those 2 trucks, though, is they continue to lose ground to the cars in front. There you see them. We'll check on that. The difference between Josh Sobel and Kyle Ammon. And that time by, Ammon about a 10th faster than Josh Sobel, but with 20 laps to go, a tenth per lap isn't going to cut it, because with 20 laps to go, you do the math, that's only 2 seconds if you're a 10th faster per lap. So this group of trucks might be hoping to see a caution in the closing laps, or maybe they're be able to get a little bit better formed up. Meanwhile, back up at the front, it is still the 21 of Eric Wineland, and Josh Sobel is in an interesting position here, because the 61 is tucked up right behind the number 21 machine. Sobel, he's going to have the opportunity when they start to get a little bit dicey up the front. Sobel's going to be able to pick and choose who he wants to go with.
Oh yeah, and I gotta believe that Zobel here wants to also win, so I gotta believe he's thinking, okay, when is the move going to be made? Do I go 3 wide here at the end, or do I push the 61 and then try to go above him? I know if I'm the 30, I'm probably going in between, but when it happens. But I think they're all going to probably be a little patient and wait till the final lap.
18 laps to go this time by, as they work their way out of turn number 4, coming to the famed World Center of Racing Tri-Oval here at Daytona. We ride on board with Josh Sobel right here. We'll see if we can bring up his info down there on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Started in the 10th position down there, dropped all the way back to 22nd at one point here tonight, but currently running in third, gaining 7 positions from his starting spot, and unable to pick up the Majors Garage pole, but a pretty respectable first race of his Galaxy Truck Series career. Of course, brought to you by In the Pits News. Make sure you check them out. And gotta say, it's a great group of people over here in the Galaxy Truck Series, Alex. I know I've got to know Kim through some of the other leagues that we broadcast here on the channel, but always one of those leagues that you watch out for whenever it comes up on YouTube or Twitch or whatever streaming platform you might see Galaxy racing on.
Oh yeah, I caught a cup race last year on YouTube, and this is a league I think I want to be a part of, and once I joined, it's just a great group of guys, all super friendly, super helpful. I've never thought a league could be this great. It's just been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, field going off into turn number 3 and 4 here, and you can see the front 3 just continuing to stay nose to tail. The 11 and the 5 are slowly closing in, now back down to about 4 seconds between Wineland and Ammon. But whoa, the 21 of Wineland, he's going to wash up the racetrack. I'm not sure if that was a bad bump or something, but looks like the 61 of Bronson Stafford's going to get out front in the GoPro Toyota Tundra. And maybe the 21 started to see that second group of trucks closing in and said, you know what? Maybe it'd be smarter if I can slot back in here behind the number 61, see if he's better at leading, and see if we can continue to maintain that gap on the fourth and fifth placed trucks.
Yeah, exactly, Peter. These two have been talking about this for about 3 laps now, watching those 2 trucks behind them slowly catching, and they've been discussing it, and they finally decided to pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, so now we'll see as really that move did allow that second group of trucks to significantly close in about a second in a lap. We'll see at the top of the screen this time by what the difference in lap time was between the front 3 and the 4th and 5th place trucks. 50.1 for Bronson Stafford to a 49.518. So 0.6 of a second that one lap for that second pack of trucks. But now we're starting to see that gap maybe balloon out to 3.2 seconds, so we'll see how things continue to ebb and flow as that second group of trucks back there weaving and bobbing, not lined up down the backstretch. That's going to hurt their speed.
Yeah, I think they finally made a little mistake in the corner there and they messed up. But I know that Eric here up front here is really pushing that 61, trying to pull that gap a little bit larger.
Just 14 laps to go. Eric Wineland has led 27 laps. The 61 of Bronson Stafford has led 20 laps. The only other driver to lead more laps than the number 61 machine is Alonso Chicano in the number 25 machine, and involved in a big accident now 37 laps ago. You see a lot of names there on the left-hand side of your screen were involved in that one. That's why we have a good handful of cars plus 35, plus 36, plus 37 laps, because they were all taken out in the big one going off into turn number 3. We had cars going into the catch fence. It was not a pretty sight here, but we do have a pretty sight 13 laps from right now, because the checkered flag will fall on race number 1 of the 2021 Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series here on 3 Wide TV. Of course, you won't see this Truck Series on 3 Wide TV next week. Alex, do you have any info on where you will see the next Galaxy in the Pits Truck Series race?
I believe the next race will be on JC TV on YouTube here. I'm almost 100% sure. I believe I'm slated to try to run the road course. I kind of like to run the road courses, especially in these trucks, so I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend and taking Daytona on the road course.
I'll tell you what, I am a road course ringer myself. I love not just the ovals in iRacing, but I also love the road courses, and when they combined and you get the trucks or the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars on the road courses, that's really where I excel, because it's the best of both of my worlds kind of coming together. And I'd be like you, I'd be chomping at the bit to get out there on a road course with these trucks, especially here at the Daytona road course, which is one of the funnest road courses to run in all of the iRacing sim.
Oh yeah, and because of my schedule, I missed it. I missed the Daytona Road Course last year. So this will kind of be the first opportunity I get to do it here, starting on Monday night.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun race. I'm sure a lot of these drivers will be excited to be turning left and right, but we still have a couple of left turns to make here tonight with now just 11 laps to go, just over 25 miles, in fact 27 and a half miles to be exact, and it's that 61 continuing to lead. Let's check in on that time delta to the second group of trucks, because between Bronson Stafford and Kyle Ammon, it has continued to balloon, folks. It's now up to 4.3 seconds once again. In fact, 4.6 seconds as they head down the backstretch. So it seems like that move that they did, Alex, to shuffle the 61 and the 21 definitely has kept that front group only 3 trucks and not 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely a good move on their part. I'm assuming it. Eric has a little bit better bumper push width, or maybe the 61 has a little bit more tape like the 11 did. But yeah, great move, and it looks like 30 is just kind of sitting there waiting to see what happens here at the end. Also, I believe the 93 just got back on the track to try to run some laps and overtake a couple of drivers for a few points.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well he's able to do here. In fact, yeah, it looks like the 37 right there, that's Jason Taylor, and the number 93 of Brandon Masajewski out there on the racetrack being scored many, many laps down in 11th and 12th place, respectively. But a good job by them both to get out there on the track to, like you said, try and pick up some more positions, because you mentioned it earlier. Points matter. Every point matters at the end of the season, whether it's you fighting for those stage points there in the middle portion of the race, or right here at the end trying to pick up one extra spot because maybe someone has fallen out. As you see, the number 97 of Mike Floppy Teller, he's now fallen one lap down after he had that pit road speeding mishap. Currently being scored in the 6th place, so we're down to just 5 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, these top 3 here are finally starting to close in, get a little bit closer to each other, and looks like they may pick up some of these lap down cars for a little bit extra draft help.
Yeah, so that could be interesting to see if maybe the number 60 falls back. Same thing with the number 97, if they can pick up the number 11 and number 5, and then maybe the numbers game would kind of flip. But we're on board here with the number 11 of Kyle Ammon, and things are going south for the number 11 and the number 5 very quickly, because you can barely see the lead train of the 3 trucks up in front of them now. They are just a dot on the horizon. Leaders going off into turn number 3 right here, and you can see that the 11 and 5 are just about halfway down the backstretch. So time significantly running out. Just 7 laps to go this time by for the 61, the 21, and the number 30. Which one of them are going to get to go to victory lane? Will it be someone else? Folks, stranger things have happened here on 3 Wide TV before, so make sure you stick with us all the way to the checkered flag just 7 laps from now.
Yeah, I'm not sure which spot I want to be in this particular spot. I like where Eric is in the middle of these 2, but I also like where the 30 is. He's got room to back, pull up on this draft and back up. He can get a pretty good run here compared to Eric, who's kind of got to stay close and push.
Yeah, the 60 there of Scott Roush, he's being scored 2 laps down. He actually was able to hold on to this lead train of 3 trucks, so kind of make it 4. He's kind of an outlier, but it could be interesting to see whether or not he kind of has a say in the finish of this race. Does he want to give someone the winning push to the checkered flag? You don't know. 6 laps to go, and it's a little bit of a chess match right now.
Yeah, he's kind of the unknown of this group. You know, he can easily help one of these guys. He could help 30 and make it really interesting at the end, or he could back off, or he could jump and help one of the other two. It'd be really interesting to see what happens in the last couple laps.
Oh man, the leaders broke up there. The 61 machine jumped up to the high side. Not sure if that was by design or not, but now the 21 of Eric Wineland going to get back up to the front. And here comes Joshua Sobel looking for the second position there in that Stay Tuned Sports Toyota Tundra. But now we have a couple of Toyota Tundras hooked up together out there on the racetrack. Could the 30 and the 61 start working together, as they both have Tundra power, as we got 5 laps to go at Daytona?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was kind of a planned move or what the deal was there. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
So the number 21 machine up at the front of the field, the number 30 right there of Josh Sobel. But look at that run that the outside line just got. The number 8 machine of Luke trying to get himself back onto the lead lap the hard way, trying to stay in front of the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. I think both of those trucks being scored a lap down. No, excuse me. I think Cody Luke being scored 2 laps down. But now the 61 goes up the middle. Things starting to get racy here at Daytona. Finally, as things have really come back together, as these couple of lap trucks really could make for an interesting finish.
Yeah, these lap trucks here are really mixing it up here. What makes it really unknown what's going to happen here. But it looks like 97 is definitely going to stick with the 61. That's the way it appears.
And now we're going to go side by side once again for the race lead. Sobel there sticking with Wineland. The 61 of Stafford up there on the high line. And then you have those other lap trucks. Really, the advent of these lap trucks being caught by the leaders has made this finish a lot more exciting than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting to see those 3 trucks kind of just stay all together. But now we got these added trucks in the mix being 1 or 2 laps down, kind of leaving me a little bit scratching my head. I don't know if I would be one of them, Alex, because sometimes you just don't want to be that truck that's 2 laps down influencing the outcome of a race. But here we are, 3 laps to go, and we got a gaggle of trucks back up at the front of the field.
Yeah, it's definitely some you don't see all the time, but I think what makes this interesting is you got the 8 and the 60 that are actually running for positions themselves. So it you can't just back off in that spot. That's still 1 point, 1 position. So those 2 are still racing. So they got to try to use the draft to their advantage as well.
Coming to just 2 laps to go, the 61 of Stafford going to drop down in front of the number 21 machine. So now we have our 3 lead lap runners nose to tail on the inside groove. Mike Floppy Tellier and the number 97 to the outside. He's being scored 1 lap down. And like you mentioned, the 60 and the 8 are running for position back there. But here comes Sobel. Sobel going to jump up to the high side. 2 laps to go at Daytona. And anyone going to go with him? Doesn't look like it. Sobel all by himself up there on the top side.
Yeah, I know he was hoping someone would go with him, but it doesn't appear like anyone's going to. Hopefully that 8 truck will come and help him. But yeah, he was really hoping someone would follow him.
Just getting a run, what appeared to be at the right time, making a good move, but as you said, no one giving him a push to give him that momentum on the top side. Stafford continuing to lead here. Sobel's going to try it again, but now, like you said, now he's got the number 8 of Cody Luke behind him. No, Luke going to duck back behind the number 60, but that 30 still with a head of momentum here as we go off into turn number 3 and 4. We're going to come to the white flag this time.
Yeah, 30 is just... looks like he's going to take the lead here with coming to the white flag, and it looks like Eric will kind of be between them both heading into turn 1.
What a move out of that number 30. He kind of did it all by himself there, Alex, just with a full head of steam, was able to get to the race lead. Now he has the number 61. White flag is in the air. We won't see any more caution flags. It will be official this time at the stripe. The number 61, can he time a move much like he did coming to the green-white checker, or the green checker, I should say, right there at the end of stage number 1 on lap number 20? He made a late lunge to the high side. Will we see that again here, Alex?
Yeah, he's definitely going to try it, I believe. I think he's setting him up right here. He's going to drop to the inside here, coming to the finish here.
But here comes the number 21 machine. Wineland's going to jump to the top side. We're going to be 3 wide contact, and the 61's going to go to victory lane at Daytona. Sobel going, spinning across the line, but 3 wide to end race number 1 of the season. What a great finish, all things considered. Wow.
Yeah, crazy finish there.
Well, we'll dial up this for one more look. Sobel there leading coming out of turn number 4. He ends up in 3rd as the 21 had a big push. Let's slow this one down, folks, because there goes the 21 of Wineland to the high side. The 61 with a little bit of help from the 60. There's the contact. Sobel just bouncing like a pinball off of the other trucks, and Wineland able to squeak away with that second place finish there at the end. What a run to the checkered flag. Wow.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, once again here on 3 Wide TV, another stellar finish. We'll get another look at this one from the blimp cam. Look at that run by the number 21 machine of Wineland. And, man, if there hadn't been that contact, I don't know if Sobel would have walked away with second or not, or if Wineland would have still had that spot, but it was tight. But for Bronson Stafford in that number 61 machine, congratulations. Get to go to victory lane here at Daytona. What you absolutely love to see, burning it down here on the start-finish line.
Yeah, congratulations to him. I know he's probably happy burning it up. And it looks like the 60 gave him just a little bump there heading into the trial right before he made contact with the 30, and that might have been the difference right there.
Bronson Stafford leading 32 laps tonight. In fact, that was the most laps. So not only walking away with the Majors Garage Pole Shootout win earlier, getting the pole, but also leading the most laps and winning the race. Also picked up stage number 1 win. What a night for that number 61 here tonight.
And he gets to carry all the momentum heading into the rest of the season here, heading into the next couple races. You know, he's got to be looking forward to it and keep it rolling. Yeah,
of course, that is always important, isn't it? To walk away at the front of the field with a win in race number 1, because it's just important to get your season off on the right foot. You don't want to be someone who didn't have a good night. I mean, we saw some drivers out in the first 10 laps. Brian Branham, Corey Bradley, their race ended on lap number 6 here tonight. So they're going to be in a heap of trouble in the point standings going into next week, and a lot of ground to make up.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always hard to be behind the 8 ball here to start the season. It takes a long time to make those points up.
Well, folks, I don't believe. Well, you know what? Let's put this on pause. Let's see if we can actually dial up some post-race interviews for you. We're going to take a brief step away, but we'll be right back here on the channel. We'll see if we can get some of those interviews lined up for us. We'll see if we can possibly get the permissions to actually move some people into the broadcast channel, and we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere.
I think Cam should be able to.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway, where tonight, a 250-mile race number 1 of the 2021 Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series. We got some post-race interviews lined up for you, and the first one to bring up into the booth here tonight, well, I literally Oh, wait. I think I have it back. All right, there we go. Josh Sobel, Peter Short, 3 White TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Josh. Great run for you tonight in that Stay Tuned Sports Toyota. I know I was a bit concerned when it looked like you got a chunk of the big one that happened in turn number 3, but didn't seem like it affected that number 30 all too much. And I know you got your dad rooting you on in the chat, as always, here on the channel. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, it was good. The open set is new for me, so shout out to the boys over at NSRA for helping me out with a setup. This truck was all over the place, man. It was definitely not one to be pushing or to be pushed, which sucks when you're at Daytona. But the backstretch, it was everywhere. So it was a handful the whole night.
Yeah, definitely looked like there was a lot of pushing and shoving out there pretty much all night long. And it seemed like in the first portion of the race, there might have been a little bit too much pushing and shoving out there. What was your take of the race from your perspective in the car? Do you think people were being a little bit over-aggressive earlier in the race?
Yeah, I mean, when we run down to just basically 3 guys on the lead lap and a couple of lappers, yeah, those who are not up there with us definitely push too hard. But at the end of the day, it's Daytona, so you're looking to do something. But it's weird only kind of finishing with basically 3 guys. So it was interesting all the way around the whole entire night.
Good news is you get a podium. Bad news, you finished 3rd out of those 3 that you're racing there to the line. But it didn't look like that coming out of turn number 4. You were coming to the line. You were the first truck in line out of turn number 4 at that point. Anything you think you could have done differently to get the number 30 to the stripe first?
No, Bronson had help. I mean, at the end of the day, having a partner is going to get you across the line. So I wasn't expecting to even win that because I literally know 0 people in here besides Mike. So I wasn't expecting to get any sort of help. And I managed to get 3rd, and I'm okay with that, honestly.
Well, all things considered, you joined the league today. You got a setup today. You finished 3rd and on the podium, leading 3 laps here tonight. And I know you got your biggest fan in the chat, pretty much as always here tonight. Great to have Rich in the chat. Before we let you go, Josh, any shout-outs?
Yeah, big shout out to Stay Tuned Sports for sponsoring the truck. Going through the rest of the year as well too. Brant at Harpoon Designs for making my paints and everything else like that. Like I said, the boys over at NSRA for helping me out with a setup last minute, and I had no idea what the setup was going to bring. So the 30 minutes of practice I had was about the best I could get. Everybody here at Galaxy Truck Series for letting me race as well too, because like I said, I don't really know anybody here. So I appreciate y'all letting me in, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight at Daytona, and I'm sure we'll see you again here fairly soon here on the channel. Best of luck, Josh.
Thank you, Peter.
Josh.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for your 3rd place interview here tonight. I believe that Alex Princeton has caught up with Eric Wineland, tonight's runner-up.
Hey, Eric, Alex up here in the booth. Our roles are usually reversed here, but nice to see you come home 2nd here tonight. Not the finish you were hoping for. I know you wanted to win, but how'd your race go?
Yeah, definitely a role reversal there. Being in the JCTV booth so much, seeing you up here is pretty cool. Yeah, as far as the race, I played everything pretty much perfectly. I would have liked to get up there for the stage points in stage 1, but just didn't feel comfortable enough with it. Huge shout out to Brandon Maciejewski for working with me all night long in that 93 truck. But coming down to the end there, after pit stops, I got such a good launch. I pulled the guys so much, I was worried I got too big of a gap, but they ended up staying behind me to push, and we were good. I kept watching the gap to the guys behind. We wanted to make sure that they couldn't catch us. So at one point, that's why I put Bronson in front of me. I was kind of debating to put Josh in front of me, but he didn't want to. And so managed it till the end there. Lappers got involved, which unfortunate, but that's what happens at plate racing. There's always guys with some damage. So nonetheless, what a finish. I mean, a great way to start this first full season for the Galaxy Truck Series. And I honestly couldn't be happier from a management standpoint and from a driver standpoint, I would just wanted the one better, but I will definitely take a second place finish to start my season off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw you guys kind of talk about it and switch spots there to try to stay out front of those of Kyle and Dylan there. And so that definitely was planned. But yeah, Josh, he said he was pretty loose, so he kind of wanted to stay kind of behind you guys. But yeah, it was kind of crazy there at the end when you got the lappers fighting for their own position. Kind of changed everything up on you.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to them. They have their own race to run. Of course, we aren't privy to team channels, so we don't know what's going on in the background if they have some sort of order or anything. But it was fun because it added a new element of challenge coming to the end there. So we, like, as the three drivers of us up front, just more to manage, right? You want to try to control as much as you can as a super speedway because they're so unpredictable. And that factor of Scott and Mike and Cody all being up there too just added that extra little bit that it was a fun challenge. I didn't like it because I didn't like the outcome, but like I said, I will gladly walk away with a second place finish and just need to do one better next week.
Exactly. Great job tonight. Before we go here, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, huge thank you to my teammate Brandon Majewski for working with me tonight. He made it barely in time to make the race, and I loved having that buddy system out here at the Super Speedway. It's something you need. That's pretty much it. Thanks for Tyler Sifford for helping me out with a few pointers for some Super Speedway setup. But that's about it. If anyone's looking to sponsor a truck in the Galaxy Truck Series, my line's always open. You can contact me here on iRacing and Eric Wineland or on Twitter at LuckyWeAre. But yeah, that's gonna do it.
Thanks, Eric. Congratulations, and I look forward to racing with you next week.
Alrighty, Alex, thank you very much. Peter, thanks for helping out with the broadcast this week. And we'll see you guys next week here on the road course.
Definitely great to have Eric up here in the booth. Congratulations on his second place finish. But I'm going to head down to victory lane with the number 61 machine of Bronson Stafford, the man who started on the Majors Garage pole, won stage one, and ends up winning the race right there at the end. Bronson, what an eventful night for you and that number 61 machine. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, we started on pole, which was a great start to the whole night. Won stage one. I think we got sixth or something stage two, and pretty much just tried to keep the truck clean. We got a little bit of damage in the big wreck that happened just before the end of stage two. But it wasn't too bad. Clearly, was able to get it repaired and just get the track position, and green flag stops really kind of separated the field, and just had to play some games and try and get the win.
What was going through your mind when you had that damage? I know both Alex and I up here in the booth, we saw that damage and went, oh man, the 61 has looked so strong here tonight, and his race could be done getting that little bit of damage, because you never really know in iRacing. Sometimes you get a scratch and it seems like your truck is it's done, but sometimes you can get a pretty good chunk and still compete, and that seemed to be the case with you tonight.
Yeah, kind of got lucky. It was in like the perfect spot, kind of right along the crease of the hood, and it was like 13 seconds. It repaired nice and easy, and was able to, not have anything wrong. I threw some more tape on it just in case it lacked a little bit of get up to speed, and I don't know, we were fine. So we could still lead lines. We were still drafting good. Got lucky with that one because, yeah, like you said, iRacing sometimes is really finicky with the damage and where it puts it.
Yeah, well, definitely you lucked out in that one, and you were able to learn a little bit, I think, especially there at the end of the first stage, that late race move. Did you learn something that you had in your back pocket right there coming to the checkered flag of the race?
Yeah, there was only like three of us racing for the win at that point on the white flag, so I was just trying to not be the leader. But once we got some lap guys on, I was like, at this point, it's just kind of, whoever the lap trucks try and help is who's probably going to end up winning. And it lucked out with Scott giving a really good shot off of 4. And honestly, I do think the 30 could have got us but I believe the 21 took it 3 wide to try and get the win. But if he would have just given the shot to the 30, I think we would have gotten beat there. But it happens. It all worked out with everything happening the way it did. So, glad to get a win.
Yeah, and we do have some congratulations for you already coming in the chat. Mike Floppy Tellier saying, good win, Bronson. I know Rich Sobel said, what a spectacular finish. But race number 1, I mean, it's always important to get your win tally up and running very early, but how important is it to get the win here at Daytona in race number 1 of the In the Pits News Truck Series?
Yeah, Daytona is always a huge place to win, and throughout leagues and years and everything, my whole team and I have strived on trying to win the first race we make in a league appearance, and this was my first race in a league, and we went out and won. So that feels good. Kind of keep a streak, kind of keep a thing going like that. But I'm excited for the season. These guys, open setup trucks. It's my first dabble with trucks and setups and whatnot, and I think we did it all right tonight. Had some help on that with the setup and such, and really just gonna take it forward and hope to keep the momentum from Daytona to every week.
Well, definitely.
Great job there, Bronson.
Yeah, definitely echoing what Alex just said, and great job. Had a spectacular setup underneath the hood of that number 61 machine here tonight, picking up that pole award brought to you by Majors Garage, and then going on to win the race. Very, very impressive, and really a statement for every single other driver in the field here tonight. Eric Wineland as well in the chats, giving his congratulations. But Bronson, great race for you here tonight. Led the most laps, like I said, so definitely showing and asserting your dominance on the track tonight. But before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Yeah, definitely. My whole team back at Luminary. I kind of took a solo effort into this league, just trying to try things out for Road to Pro practice, for setups and just whatnot. I think we're just trying to figure some things out, and obviously, Eric in the 21, Scott in the 60 for the push to the win, and the 30. We all worked really good there at the end, and the 3 of us did really good after pit stops to get the gap out. So just a huge shout to them, and everyone that makes this possible with leagues and broadcasts and everything.
Definitely a great night for you, Bronson, and fantastic job getting onto pit road right there at the end. Was very, very impressive to see the gap that you 3 were able to put over the 5 and the 11 there in the closing laps, and the money stop really was on the money for you here tonight at Daytona. Congratulations again, and best of luck next week.
All right, thanks.
All right, well, before we go, folks, Alex, got to say, great race here tonight at Daytona, and congratulations to that fantastic-looking number 61 machine for picking up the win.
Yeah, definitely a great job by the top 3. Congrats to 61, and it was a pleasure to work with you, Peter. Hopefully sometime we'll get to do it again.
Absolutely. Well, let's bring up those final race results here on the channel. Bronson Stafford in the 61 picking up the win right there. Eric Wineland coming in second, only 5/100ths of a second behind. So, folks, if you're doing the math at home, the last 3 races here on 3 White TV have been decided by 63 one-thousandths of a second. Yes, that's right. 63 one-thousandths of a second the last 3 races. It's been Super Speedway week, and it's been a good one. Joshua Sobel finishing in third. To put it into perspective, he finished 86 thousandths of a second behind, and he was not all too far back. Wow, what a great week it has been here on the channel. Kyle Ammon in the number 11 finishing in 4th. Dylan Kritz rounding out your top 5. The only 5 trucks on the lead lap at the end. Mike Floppy Teller, the only truck 1 lap down in the number 97. I'm sure he was just hoping for a caution flag there to get back on the lead lap. Scott Roush finishing in 7th. Cody Luke in 8th. Really... 2 of the only other trucks with a shot at a top 5 here tonight, as Jason Taylor and Brandon Matcha. Man, I'm just going to continue to butcher his name. I need to go to school to pronounce the number 93's name. But
for sure, we need to bring him in here just to find out.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Oh, you know what? Can I bring him in? I don't seem to be able to drag him in here. Not exactly sure why. Makacheski. I'll just say that. there in the number 93 machine, coming home and rounding out your top 10 here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, great job by the top 10. Definitely the top 8 there for sticking with it and stuff. But yeah, the rest of the field definitely had a tough break.
Yeah, you see Carl Felliver there in 11th, Dustin Webb 12th, Alonso Chicano, who was very fast, led a good handful of laps, David Duke, Cameron Caldwell, Mitchell Goosens, Chris Parkman, Richard Chidester, Fuse Jr., Cody Molyneux, and then a couple other trucks right there. Brian Branham, Corey Bradley, and Jonathan Dellinger was actually not able to make the grid here tonight in the number 51 machine. But great race here tonight. Definitely kind of an interesting one for Daytona. We did have the big one, and boy, was it a big one, Alex. Definitely whittled down the field to right there at the end. But any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
No, just very exciting race. Got really exciting there at the end with the lap cars, and look forward to the rest of the season. Should be a great season.
Definitely. So I'll be keeping my eyes from the sidelines here of the Galaxy in the Pits News Truck Series all season long. Definitely has piqued my appetite for the series. So if you're interested in joining the series, make sure you Google them and find the Galaxy Truck Series as they're in the inaugural Truck Series season. And we're did the Cup side last season, and 100% league. There aren't many out there that do 100% races like the Galaxy Series does. But if you want maybe 100% league, that's maybe a little bit shorter. The Truck Series, of course, running shorter races, so they might be one spot that you might want to check out. Before we go, I want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Sim TV for the camera angles we bring you each and every week here on the channel. But for myself, Peter Short, Alex Brinson, folks, have a good night. And we'll hope to see you again back with our regularly scheduled programs here on Friday night on the channel next week. Have a good night.